3 months had passed since Crix's miraculous recovery. The Galactic Medical Academy was different now. In the surgical training rooms, alien students practiced on simulation bodies. They made careful incisions. They tied delicate sutures. They worked against the clock, racing to save imaginary patients. Velthar had become the star student. His forearms gave him an advantage, but it was his dedication that impressed everyone. He arrived early to practice. He stayed late to study. He watched recordings of human surgeries over and over, memorizing every movement. One morning, Dr. Hyun-woo found him in the training room at dawn. The insectoid alien was practicing microsurgery on a synthetic blood vessel. His hands shook with fatigue. "Velthar, you have been here all night," Dr. Hyun-woo said gently. "You need to rest." "I cannot rest," Velthar replied without looking up. "Yesterday I was too slow. My practice patient died because I took 12 minutes instead of 10. I must be faster." Dr. Hyun-woo sat down beside him. "In human medicine we have a saying, you cannot pour from an empty cup. If you exhaust yourself, you cannot help anyone." Velthar finally looked up. His compound eyes were dull with exhaustion. "But humans work such long hours. I have read about human doctors working for 20 hours straight. How do you do it?" "We do it when we must, but we also know our limits." Dr. Hyun-woo stood and gently took the surgical tools from Velthar's hands. "Come, sleep for 6 hours, then we will practice together." Velthar hesitated, then nodded. As he left, Dr. Hyun-woo watched him go. The alien had come so far in such a short time. 3 months ago, he had been horrified by human medicine. Now he was one of its most devoted students. That afternoon, Dr. Hyun-woo gave a special lecture to the entire medical school. The auditorium was packed. Students from every species attended. Even Dr. Thalmix sat in the front row, eager to learn. "Today, I want to talk about the philosophy behind human medicine," Dr. Hyun-woo began. "Many of you have learned our techniques, but techniques are not enough. You must understand why we do what we do." He touched a control, and an image of Earth appeared on the screen. The blue planet rotated slowly. Humans evolved on a dangerous world. We had predators with bigger teeth, prey that could run faster, poisons that could kill us, weather that could freeze or burn us. We were not the strongest. We were not the toughest. Another image appeared. Early humans hunting. But we had one advantage. We never gave up. We were persistence hunters. We would chase an animal for days until it collapsed from exhaustion. We would try and fail and try again. Giving up was not in our nature. Brix's crystalline body chimed with interest. "So human medicine reflects this evolutionary trait?" "Exactly, Doctor," Hyun-woo said. "When a patient is dying, we do not accept it. We fight. We try every possible treatment. We push boundaries. Sometimes we fail, but we always try." He showed a video of a human cardiac arrest response, the medics performing chest compressions, the electric shock from a defibrillator, the patient gasping back to life. "This is CPR, cardiopulmonary resuscitation. We manually pump the heart and breathe for the patient. It looks violent. It can break ribs, but it keeps blood flowing to the brain until the heart starts again." The alien students watched in amazement. Nala spoke up. "How long can you keep doing this? How long can a human survive without a heartbeat?" "The record is over 6 hours," Mireille answered. She was sitting near the front. "A human fell into frozen water. Her heart stopped, but the cold preserved her brain. Doctors performed CPR for hours. When they finally warmed her up, her heart started again. She survived with full brain function." The auditorium erupted in shocked whispers. 6 hours without a heartbeat? Impossible, except it was not impossible. Humans had done it. Dr. Hyun-woo continued. "We also have something called the Heimlich maneuver. When someone is choking, we compress their abdomen suddenly. The pressure forces air up through the throat and pushes out the obstruction." He demonstrated on a practice dummy. "It is simple, but it saves thousands of lives every year on Earth." Velthar raised one of his 4 hands. Dr. Kim, all of these techniques are emergency responses. What about long-term care? What about chronic illnesses? Good question. Dr. Hyunwoo smiled. Human medicine is not just about emergencies. We also developed treatments for diseases that take years to kill. Cancer, heart disease, diabetes. We learned to manage these conditions, to give patients more time, more life. He showed slides of chemotherapy, radiation treatment, insulin injections. These treatments are not pleasant. They have side effects. They can make patients feel worse before they feel better. But they work. They give people years or decades of additional life. Jiho stood up to speak. I want to tell you about my grandmother. She had cancer when I was young. The doctors said she had maybe 1 year to live, but she chose to fight. She went through chemotherapy. She lost her hair. She was sick for months, but the treatment worked. She lived for 20 more years. I became a doctor because of her, because she taught me that humans do not give up. The room was silent. The alien students were beginning to truly understand. Human medicine was not just about techniques. It was about attitude, about refusing to accept defeat, about fighting for every second of life. Dr. Tholomex stood up. His silver bark seemed to glow in the auditorium lights. Dr. Kim, I have a confession. When you first arrived, I thought human medicine was primitive. I thought you were barbarians who had not yet discovered proper medical science, but I was wrong. Human medicine is not primitive, it is brave. Dr. Hyunwoo bowed slightly. Thank you, Dr. Tholomex. But we learned something from you as well. Your regeneration technology is amazing. Your healing pods can fix things we cannot. The best medicine combines both approaches. Over the following weeks, the Academy developed new protocols. They called it integrated medicine. For emergencies, use human speed and intervention. For recovery, use alien regeneration technology. For chronic illness, combine human drug therapy with alien cellular repair. The results were remarkable. Patients recovered faster, survival rates improved, injuries that were once fatal became treatable. The Academy started publishing papers about the new techniques. Medical schools across the galaxy requested information. One day, Crix returned to the Academy. His arm had healed completely. He could move every finger. He could grip and lift and throw. The only evidence of his injury was a thin scar. He stood before a class of new students. I am supposed to be dead, he told them. By every calculation, by every rule of standard medicine, I should not be here. But I am alive because 3 humans refused to give up on me. He raised his once severed arm. This arm should be gone. I should have spent 2 months in a regeneration pod growing a new one. Instead, the humans put my old arm back on, and it works perfectly, better than before even. A young student raised a tentacle. Were you scared? When they cut into you? Crix shook his head. I was unconscious. But when I woke up and learned what they had done, I was amazed. They had touched my organs. They had sewn my flesh. They had reconnected nerves one at a time. And they did it all in just 3 hours. He looked around at all the young faces. Human medicine taught me something important. Being alive is worth fighting for. Every second is precious, and we should never ever give up on a patient as long as there is any chance at all. That evening, Dr. Hyunwoo sat with Jiho and Mirai in the observation lounge. They looked out at the stars through the massive window. 3 months ago, they had arrived at this station as curiosities, primitive humans with their violent medicine. Now they were teachers, respected colleagues, partners in a medical revolution. Do you think we made a difference? Jiho asked quietly. Mirai smiled. We saved a life. We taught others to save lives. Yes, we made a difference. Dr. Hyunwoo nodded. But this is just the beginning. Human medicine and galactic medicine together can save so many more. We have only started to explore what is possible. Far below them, in the surgical training rooms, Velthar was practicing again. His 4 hands moved with increasing skill and confidence. Beside him, Brix calculated and planned the perfect surgical approach. Nearby, Nala practiced in her water sphere, her tentacles manipulating tools with growing precision. The future of medicine was being born, and it was beautiful. The medical bay doors slid open with a hiss. Dr. Hyunwoo walked in first, his hands already scrubbing with antiseptic foam. Behind him, medical staff wheeled Crix on a floating stretcher. The young reptilian's breathing was getting weaker. His scales had turned from bright green to a dull gray color. Jiho ran ahead to prepare the operating theater. Mireille stayed with the patient, her fingers pressed against his neck, counting his pulse. "Heart rate dropping," she called out. "We need to move fast." The alien medical staff gathered around Dr. Tholomex. They looked worried and confused. In their experience, this type of injury meant death. There was no question about it. The regeneration pods could heal many things, but they needed time. Crix did not have time. Velthar pushed to the front of the crowd. His forearms crossed over his chest. "Dr. Kim, what exactly do you plan to do? Our scans show massive internal bleeding. 3 organs are damaged. The limb cannot be regenerated for at least 40 days. He will die in less than 1 hour." Dr. Hyunwoo continued scrubbing his hands and arms. He spoke without looking up. "Then we have 57 minutes to save him. Plenty of time." "Plenty of time?" Velthar's voice rose to a screech. "Are all humans this insane?" Brix moved closer to the observation window. His crystalline body refracted the light into dancing patterns on the walls. "I have calculated the survival probability using standard galactic medical protocols. It is 0.03%, essentially impossible." "What is the human probability?" asked Nala from her water sphere. Dr. Hyunwoo finally looked up. His eyes were steady and calm. "About 70%, maybe higher. This is a bad injury, but I have seen worse." The alien students gasped. 70%? How could this human be so confident? They watched as he walked into the operating theater. Jiho had already set up bright lights over the surgical table. Mireille was connecting human medical machines to Crix's body. Wires and tubes covered the patient. Dr. Tholomex spoke through the intercom. "Dr. Kim, our medical equipment is available if you need it." "Thank you, but our equipment will work better for this," Dr. Hyunwoo replied. He pulled on surgical gloves that fit tight against his skin. Human bodies and reptilian bodies are similar enough. The principles are the same. Mireille checked the monitors. "Blood pressure critical. We need to start." "Beginning now," Dr. Hyunwoo said. He picked up a scalpel. The blade gleamed under the lights. Outside the theater, 50 alien students pressed against the observation windows. They had never seen anything like this. In their worlds, medicine was done inside sealed pods. Machines did all the work. Doctors only supervised and waited, but humans were different. Very different. Dr. Hyunwoo made the first cut. His hand was steady. The incision was clean and precise. Dark blood welled up immediately. Nala made a sound like choking. Her water turned dark. "He is cutting into the patient, while the patient is still alive." "That is the point," Jiho said calmly. He was standing inside the theater, holding instruments. "We need to see what is damaged. We need to fix it with our own hands." Velthar's antennae trembled. This is madness, complete madness. But he could not look away. None of them could. Dr. Hyunwoo worked quickly. His hands moved inside Crix's body like he had done this 1,000 times before. Because he had. On Earth, trauma surgeons trained for years. They practiced until their movements became automatic. Until they could work under pressure without hesitation. "Suction," Dr. Hyunwoo said. Jiho pressed a tube into the wound. It sucked away the blood so the doctor could see better. There, ruptured blood vessel, Mireille clamp. Mireille handed him a small metal device. Dr. Hyunwoo attached it to the damaged vessel. The bleeding slowed. He tied off the vessel with quick, precise movements. His fingers worked like they were dancing. "First vessel sealed," he announced, moving to the second one. Brix was recording everything on his internal memory. Fascinating. He is manually repairing each damaged structure. The precision required must be incredible. It is, Mireille said through the intercom. She was watching the monitors while assisting. Human surgeons train for over 10 years before they can do this level of work. 10 years? Dr. Tholamax sounded surprised. Our medical training takes 3 years. Because your machines do most of the work, Mireille replied. We have to learn to do it ourselves. Inside the theater, Dr. Hyunwoo moved to the damaged organs. Crix's biology was different from human biology, but the basic principles were the same. Organs needed blood flow. Tissues needed to be connected properly. Damaged parts needed to be repaired or removed. 20 minutes passed, then 30. The alien students watched in silence. Some of them had stopped being horrified. Now they were curious. They could see that Dr. Hyunwoo knew exactly what he was doing. Every movement had purpose, every cut was planned. Internal bleeding stopped, Dr. Hyunwoo announced. Organs repaired. Now for the difficult part. Jiho wheeled over a cooler. Inside was Crix's severed arm, packed in ice. The limb looked pale and lifeless. Velthar pressed against the window. What are you going to do with that? Reattach it, Dr. Hyunwoo said simply. The room erupted in shocked voices. Reattach it? That was impossible. Once a limb was severed, it was gone. Only regeneration could replace it, and that took months. You could not just put it back on, could you? Dr. Hyunwoo examined the severed arm carefully. He looked at the cut end with a magnifying device. Clean separation, minimal crushing. Good. He looked at the stump on Crix's body. Very good. We can work with this. He began the most delicate part of the surgery. Using tools that looked impossibly small, he started connecting blood vessels. Each vessel was thinner than a hair. He had to match them perfectly. One by one, he stitched them together with thread that was almost invisible. Mireille watched the monitors. Blood flow detected in the reattached limb. Vessels are holding. Jiho supported the arm while Dr. Hyunwoo worked on the nerves. This was even more delicate than the blood vessels. Nerves carried signals from the brain to the muscles. If they were not connected right, the arm would be useless. 2 hours had passed. The alien students were exhausted just from watching. But the 3 humans showed no signs of tiredness. They worked with complete focus. Nerve connections complete, Doctor, Hyunwoo said, moving to bone and muscle. He used special pins to hold the bones together. Then he stitched the muscles, layer by layer. Finally, he closed the skin with neat, careful stitches. When he stepped back, the arm looked like it had never been cut off. Only the line of stitches showed where the injury had been. Surgery complete, Dr. Hyunwoo announced. He looked at the monitors. Vital signs stable. Blood pressure improving. He should wake up in about 12 to 18 hours. Dr. Tholamax stared through the window. His silver bark seemed to shimmer with disbelief. You actually did it. You saved him. Of course, Dr. Hyunwoo said. He sounded surprised that anyone would doubt it. This is what we do. Velthar's legs gave out. He sat down hard on the floor. I have never seen anything like that. Never. You went inside his body. You touched his organs with your hands. You sewed his flesh like it was cloth. And he is alive. Brix's calculations had been wrong. Completely wrong. He had said the survival chance was almost 0. But the human had proven him wrong. The human had made the impossible look easy. Nala's water was clear again. She spoke softly. On my world, we believe that healing must be gentle, slow, natural. But you humans, you fight. You attack death itself. Dr. Hyunwoo removed his bloody gloves. Humans evolved on a dangerous world. We are not the strongest. We are not the fastest. We break easily, so we learn to fix what breaks. We learn to survive when survival seemed impossible. He looked at all the alien students watching him. That is human medicine. We do not give up, ever. The Galactic Medical Academy floated in the darkness of space like a giant crystal. Inside, students from hundreds of worlds studied the art of healing. The halls glowed with soft blue light, and the air hummed with translation devices that helped everyone understand each other. Dr. Hyunwoo Kim walked through these halls with confidence. He was the first human doctor to teach at this famous school. Behind him, 2 human medical students followed closely. Jiho Park carried a heavy bag of human medical equipment. His eyes were bright with excitement. Mirai Choi walked beside him, calm and quiet, taking notes on her digital pad. The other students stared at them. Humans were new here. Most aliens had only heard stories about Earth and its strange inhabitants. Some whispered that humans were weak creatures who died easily. Others said humans were crazy and took terrible risks. In the main lecture hall, dozens of alien students waited. Belthar sat in the front row. He looked like a giant praying mantis with 4 arms and shimmering green skin. His compound eyes watched everything with suspicion. Next to him sat Brix, a being made entirely of living crystal. Light passed through his body in rainbow patterns. In the back, Nala floated in a water-filled sphere. She was from an ocean world and needed to stay wet to survive. Dr. Hyunwoo stepped to the center of the room. Good morning, everyone. I am Dr. Kim from Earth. These are my students, Jiho and Mirai. Today we begin learning about human medicine. Belthar's translator clicked and buzzed. Dr. Kim, we have reviewed your medical practices. They seem very violent. You cut into living bodies. You remove organs. You break bones to reset them. Why do humans do such barbaric things? Dr. Hyunwoo smiled. He had expected this question. Because humans are fragile. We break easily, we bleed. We die from things that would not hurt many of you. So we had to learn how to fix our bodies quickly. Brix's crystalline body rang like a bell when he spoke. But we have regeneration technology. Healing pods, cellular reconstruction. Why would anyone choose cutting and blood over clean scientific regeneration? Mirai spoke up, her voice gentle but firm. Because regeneration takes time. Sometimes our patients don't have time. Jiho unpacked the human medical scanner. It looked primitive compared to the sleek alien devices around the room. He placed it on the demonstration table. This is our portable scanner. It can see inside a body in seconds. It tells us what is broken. Then we fix it. Nala's voice bubbled through her water sphere's speaker. How fast is seconds? What can you possibly learn in such a short time? Everything we need, Jiho said. He grinned. Want to see? An alien volunteer came forward. It was a reptilian student named Crix, young and curious. Jiho ran the scanner over Crix's body. Numbers and images appeared on the screen. 2 hearts, 3 lungs, regenerative liver, calcium-based skeleton, all healthy. The alien students murmured among themselves. The scan had taken less than 30 seconds. Dr. Hyunwoo continued the lesson. In human medicine, speed is life. When someone is hurt badly, every second matters. We call it the golden hour. If we can stabilize a patient within 1 hour of injury, their chances of survival increase dramatically. An hour? Felthar's voice rose in pitch. Our healing pods need at least 6 hours just to analyze an injury properly. How can you possibly work so fast? We use our hands, Mirai said simply. She held up her hands, spreading her fingers. We feel, we see. We respond immediately. Brix calculated something on his internal processors. That means human medicine operates on a completely different time scale than standard galactic practice. Interesting, but also terrifying. The lesson continued for another hour. Dr. Hyunwoo showed videos of human surgeries. Many alien students turned away. The sight of blood and cutting made them uncomfortable. Felthar's antennae twitched with distress. Nala's water turned cloudy with stress hormones. But some students leaned forward with interest. They asked questions. They wanted to understand why humans did things this way. On my world, Felthar said slowly, if someone loses a limb, they simply regenerate it over several months. Do humans not have this ability? No, Dr. Hyunwoo said. If a human loses a limb, it is gone forever. Unless we reattach it immediately. We have a very short window, sometimes only minutes. The room fell silent. The alien students tried to imagine living in such a fragile body. A body that could not regrow what it lost. A body that bled and broke and needed constant repair. Suddenly, alarms screamed through the station. Red lights flashed. Everyone jumped to their feet. The intercom crackled. Medical emergency in Training Base 7, combat simulation accident. All medical staff respond immediately. Dr. Hyunwoo was already moving. Jiho grabbed the medical bag. Mirai checked her equipment. They ran toward the emergency. The alien students followed more slowly. They were curious but not worried. Accidents happened in training. The medical staff would put the injured student in a healing pod. Everything would be fine. When they reached Training Base 7, they found chaos. A group of instructors stood around something on the floor. Medical staff were already scanning with their devices. Dr. Thalmex, the alien medical director, was there. He looked like a tall, thin tree with silver bark. On the floor lay Crix, the same young reptilian who had volunteered for the scanner demonstration. But now Crix looked very different. One of his arms was completely severed. It lay a meter away from his body. Dark blood pooled beneath him. His breathing was shallow and rapid. Dr. Thalmex's voice was heavy with sadness. Catastrophic trauma, limb separation, and internal hemorrhaging. The regeneration would take 6 weeks minimum. He does not have that long. Begin the death rites. Dr. Hyunwoo pushed through the crowd. He knelt beside Crix and pulled out his scanner. The device beeped and displayed data. Jiho was already opening the medical bag. Mirai checked Crix's vital signs with her hands on his neck and chest. What are you doing? Dr. Thalmex asked. The student is dying. Show some respect. Dr. Hyunwoo looked up. His face was calm but focused. This injury is completely survivable by human standards. Give me permission to try. The alien medical director stared at him. Around them, the alien students whispered in shock. Velthar clicked his mandibles nervously. Brix's body flickered with calculations. Nala's water churned. You want to use human medicine? Dr. Thalmex said slowly. On him? Yes, right now. Dr. Thalmex looked at the dying student. Then at the confident human doctor. He made a decision. He is already lost by our standards. If you think you can save him, try. But I do not think this will work. Dr. Hyunwoo nodded. Jiho, Mirai, we are going to surgery. Someone get that severed arm on ice immediately. The alien students watched in confusion as the humans began to work. They moved with quick, practiced movements. They did not look scared. They looked determined. This was going to be interesting. 6 months had transformed the Galactic Medical Academy. The main entrance now displayed a new symbol. Half of it showed the traditional galactic medical emblem, a spiral representing regeneration. The other half showed the human caduceus with its intertwined serpents. Together, they represented the union of two medical philosophies. Today was graduation day. The auditorium buzzed with excitement. Students from dozens of worlds wore their ceremonial robes. Families had traveled across space to attend. Reporters from galactic news networks recorded everything. Dr. Thalmex stood at the podium. His silver bark had taken on a golden sheen, a sign of happiness in his species. Welcome, everyone. Today we celebrate not just the graduation of our students, but the birth of a new era in medicine. The crowd applauded. Dr. Thalmex continued, 6 months ago, we believed we knew everything about healing. Our regeneration technology was perfect. Our methods were proven. We were confident in our superiority. He paused. Then 3 humans arrived and showed us how much we did not know. Dr. Hyunwoo, Jiho, and Mirai sat in the front row. They looked slightly uncomfortable with the attention, but they smiled and nodded. Today, we graduate our first class of students trained in integrated medicine. They have learned both traditions. They can use a scalpel or a regeneration pod. They can work in seconds or wait for months. They know when to fight and when to let nature heal. The ceremony began. One by one, students crossed the stage to receive their diplomas. Each one had changed. Each one had grown. When Velthar's name was called, the applause was thunderous. He walked across the stage on his 4 legs, moving with dignity. Dr. Thalmex handed him not 1 diploma, but 2. One for standard medical training, another for advanced human trauma surgery. Velthar, Dr. Thalmex announced, has achieved the highest scores in surgical precision ever recorded at this academy. He has also completed more practice surgeries than any student in our history. He graduates with highest honors. Velthar's antennae quivered with emotion. He took the diplomas in 2 of his 4 hands. With the other 2, he made a human gesture he had learned. A thumbs up. The crowd laughed and cheered. Brix graduated with honors in medical mathematics and drug dosing. His crystalline mind could calculate perfect treatment plans in seconds. He had published 3 papers on optimizing the combination of human and alien medical techniques. Nala graduated with specialization in cardiac surgery. She had overcome her fear of blood and cutting. Now she was one of the best heart surgeons in the academy. Her tentacles could manipulate surgical tools with incredible delicacy. After all the diplomas were distributed, Dr. Tholomex called one more name. "Crix, please come to the stage." The young reptilian stood and walked forward. His movements were strong and confident. No one would ever guess he had almost died 6 months ago. "Crix," Dr. Tholmex said, "you are not graduating today. You are still a first-year student, but you represent something important. You represent hope. You are living proof that no injury is truly fatal if we refuse to accept defeat." Crix bowed his head. "I am alive because of human medicine, and because of Dr. Kim, Jiho, and Mirai. They fought for me when everyone else had given up." He turned to face Dr. Hyunwoo. "Thank you. You gave me my life back. You gave me my future back. I will never forget what you did." Dr. Hyunwoo stood and walked to the stage. He embraced Crix gently. "You survived because you are strong. We just helped a little." After the ceremony, there was a reception. Students and teachers mingled. Families met the professors who had taught their children. Reporters asked for interviews. Velthar found Dr. Hyunwoo near the refreshment table. "Dr. Kim, I have news. I have been offered a position at the trauma center on Station Prime. It is the busiest emergency medical facility in this sector. They want someone trained in human rapid response techniques." Dr. Hyunwoo's face lit up. "That is wonderful. You will save many lives there." "I hope so," Velthar said. His voice became softer. 6 months ago, I thought you were insane. I thought human medicine was barbaric. I could not have been more wrong." "You are not wrong," Dr. Hyunwoo said gently. "From your perspective, our methods looked violent. But you were willing to learn. Willing to change your mind. That is what made you a great student." Brix approached, his crystalline body chiming. "Dr. Kim, I have analyzed the survival statistics since integrated medicine was introduced. Patient survival rates have improved by 43%. Recovery times have decreased by 61%. These are remarkable numbers." "Numbers are good," Mirai said, joining the conversation. "But the real success is not in numbers. It is in the lives saved, the families kept together, the futures that were almost lost." Jiho was surrounded by young students asking questions. They wanted to know about Earth, about human training, about what it took to become a surgeon. "It takes dedication," Jiho told them. "It takes years of study. It takes practice until your hands remember the movements without thinking. But most importantly, it takes compassion. You have to care about your patients. You have to want to save them." Dr. Tholomex approached Dr. Hyunwoo with 2 glasses of something that looked like glowing juice. "Dr. Kim, we need to talk about the future." They moved to a quieter corner. Dr. Tholomex spoke seriously. "Your time here was supposed to be temporary. A cultural exchange for 1 year. But I want to ask you to stay, permanently. Be our head of trauma medicine. Train more students. Help us spread integrated medicine throughout the galaxy." Dr. Hyunwoo looked surprised. "That is a generous offer. But I would need to discuss it with Jiho and Mirai, and with our families back on Earth." "Of course," Dr. Tholomex said. "Think about it. But know that you have changed medicine forever. 6 months ago, we thought a severed limb meant months of regeneration. Now we can reattach it in hours. You gave us that knowledge, that capability." Later that night, the 3 humans sat together in their quarters. They looked out at the stars and talked about the future. "Would you want to stay?" Dr. Hyunwoo asked his students. "Make this our permanent home?" Jiho thought for a moment. "Earth will always be home. But the work we are doing here is important. We are teaching the entire galaxy a new way to save lives." Mirai nodded. "And we are learning too. Alien regeneration technology is amazing. Combining it with human medicine creates something better than either one alone." Dr. Hyunwoo smiled. "Then we stay, at least for a few more years. There is still so much to teach, so much to learn." 3 days later, an emergency call came through. A mining accident on a nearby asteroid. Multiple casualties, critical injuries. The response team assembled quickly. Dr. Hyunwoo led the team. Jiho and Mirai joined him. But they were not alone. Velthar was there, his surgical kit ready. Brix had calculated the required medical supplies. Nala floated in her sphere, prepared for cardiac emergencies, human and alien doctors working together. They arrived at the mining station to find chaos. 15 injured miners, some with crushing injuries, others with radiation burns, one with a severed leg. The team split up efficiently. Everyone knew their role. Dr. Hyun-woo took the most critical patient. Velthar handled the severed leg with quick, confident movements. He had done this procedure 20 times in practice. Now he did it for real. Brix coordinated the triage, calculating which patients needed immediate attention. Nala stabilized 2 miners with cardiac problems. Jiho and Mirai worked together on multiple patients, moving from one to the next as needed. The mining station's medical staff watched in awe. They had expected to lose at least half the injured, but the integrated medicine team worked with incredible speed and precision. 4 hours later, all 15 miners were stable. All 15 would survive. Most would make full recoveries. The mining station's chief medical officer approached Dr. Hyun-woo. That was incredible. We have never seen anything like it. How did you work so fast? Dr. Hyun-woo looked at his team. Humans and aliens, exhausted but satisfied. We learned from each other. Humans taught speed and determination. Aliens taught precision and patience. Together, we are better than either could be alone. Velthar pulled off his surgical gloves. His 4 hands were steady now, no longer shaking with fatigue like they used to. He looked at the human doctor who had taught him everything. Dr. Kim, do you remember the first day, when Crix was injured? You said the injury was completely survivable. We all thought you were crazy. Dr. Hyun-woo smiled. I remember. I understand now, Velthar said. You were not crazy. You were human. And being human means never giving up. It means fighting for every life, no matter how impossible the odds seem. He gestured at the saved miners being loaded into medical transports. Today we saved 15 lives that would have been lost 6 months ago. Tomorrow we will save more. And the day after that even more, because you taught us what human medicine really means. Miri put her hand on Velthar's shoulder. You are wrong about one thing. This is not human medicine anymore. It is our medicine, all of us. Every species working together. Brix's body chimed in agreement. Optimal outcomes require integration of all available methodologies. Together, we achieve what was previously impossible. Nala's water glowed with bioluminescence, a sign of happiness in her species. On my world, we have a saying. The ocean is made of many drops. Each drop is small, but together they are mighty. 18 hours later, the medical bay was crowded. Every student at the academy wanted to see the impossible patient. The one who should have been dead. The one the humans had saved. Crix lay on a bed with monitoring equipment surrounding him. His scales had regained some of their green color. His chest rose and fell with steady breaths. The reattached arm rested on a pillow, still and peaceful. Velthar stood at the foot of the bed. He had been there for 3 hours just watching, waiting. His compound eyes tracked every small movement. When will he wake? He asked for the 10th time. Mirai sat in a chair nearby, checking readings on her tablet. Any time now. Brain activity shows he is close to consciousness. Brix hovered near the monitors. His crystalline body reflected the green and blue lights from the machines. I have reviewed the surgery recording 47 times. I still do not understand how it worked. The statistical probability of success was too low. You calculated wrong, Jiho said. He was leaning against the wall, eating something from Earth called a sandwich. You used galactic medical statistics, but this was human medicine. Different rules. Different rules, Brix repeated slowly. Yes, I am beginning to understand that. Dr. Tholomix entered the room with Dr. Hyun-woo. The tall, tree-like medical director moved slowly, as if still in shock. Dr. Kim, I must apologize. When you said the injury was survivable, I did not believe you. I thought you were being arrogant. Or foolish, Dr. Hyun-woo smiled gently. Many people think that about humans. We are used to it, but you were right, completely right. Dr. Tholomix gestured at the sleeping patient. In all my years of medicine, I have never seen a recovery this fast. By our standards, he should still be dying. Instead, he is healing. Nala floated closer in her water sphere. Dr. Kim, I have a question. When you cut into Crix's body, were you not afraid? What if you made a mistake? What if you cut the wrong thing? Mistakes are always possible, Dr. Hyun-woo admitted. That is why we train so hard. Why we practice so much. We learn from every surgery. We learn from every mistake. And we become better. Velthar's antennae twitched. On my world, we believe that nature knows best, that bodies should heal themselves, that interfering is dangerous. And on Earth, we believe that nature needs help sometimes, Mirai said. She stood and walked to Crix's bed. Yes, bodies can heal themselves, but not always fast enough. Not always completely, so we help. Suddenly, Crix's eyes opened. They were cloudy at first, confused. Then they focused. He looked around at all the faces staring at him. What happened? His voice was weak and rough. I remember the accident, the pain. Then nothing. Dr. Hyunwoo stepped forward. You were badly injured. You lost an arm. You had internal bleeding. But we fixed you. Crix tried to sit up. Pain crossed his face and he gasped. Mirai gently pushed him back down. Easy. You just had major surgery. You need to rest. Surgery? Crix looked confused. But I should be in a regeneration pod. That is the treatment for this type of injury. We used human medicine instead, Jiho said. He moved closer with a cup of water. Here, drink slowly, Crix drank. Then he noticed his arm. The reattached arm. His eyes went wide. My arm, it is still here. But it was cut off. I saw it on the floor. How is it still attached? We put it back on, Dr. Hyunwoo explained. We reconnected the blood vessels, nerves, bones, and muscles. All by hand. Crix stared at his arm. Slowly, carefully, he tried to move his fingers. They twitched. Not much, but they moved. I can feel it. I can move it. The alien students gasped. Dr. Tholomex made a sound like wind through trees. Impossible. The nerve regeneration alone should take weeks. Human surgical techniques preserve the original nerves, Mirai explained. We do not wait for regeneration. We reconnect what was there before. Crix was crying now. Tears ran down his scaled face. You saved my life. The medical director said I was going to die, but you saved me. Dr. Hyunwoo patted his shoulder gently. That is what doctors do. Over the next few days, something changed at the Galactic Medical Academy. The alien students stopped laughing at human medicine. They stopped calling it barbaric and primitive. Instead, they started asking questions. Velthar attended every one of Dr. Hyunwoo's lectures. He sat in the front row and took detailed notes. His 4 hands moved constantly, writing and recording. One day he raised his hand. Dr. Kim, I want to learn human surgery. Will you teach me? Dr. Hyunwoo looked surprised. But you said it was madness. You said it was violent and wrong. I was ignorant, Velthar said simply. I judged without understanding. I want to learn now. I want to be able to save lives the way you did. Brick spoke up from his seat. I also wish to learn. Human medicine operates on principles I never considered. Speed over perfection, action over calculation. It is revolutionary. Soon, 12 alien students had signed up for special training in human medical techniques. Dr. Tholomex provided them with a dedicated surgical theater. He also ordered human medical equipment from Earth. The training was hard. The alien students struggled with concepts that seemed natural to humans. They had to learn to work fast, to trust their hands, to make decisions in seconds instead of hours. Jiho taught them basic procedures, how to stop bleeding, how to clear airways, how to stabilize a patient in emergency conditions. Many of the students failed their first attempts, but they kept trying. Mirai taught them anatomy. Human anatomy was similar enough to many alien species that the principles transferred. She showed them where major blood vessels ran, how to identify critical organs, what could be safely cut and what could not. Nala was the most surprising student. Despite her initial horror at blood and cutting, she became fascinated with heart surgery. In my species, the heart is sacred, she explained. We believe it holds the soul, but you humans open hearts and repair them. You touch the soul and make it stronger. Dr. Hyunwoo worked with the advanced students. He taught them complex procedures, microsurgery, organ transplants, emergency trauma response. Velthar proved to be exceptionally talented. His forearms gave him an advantage in surgery. He could do the work of 2 human surgeons at once. One afternoon, during a practice session, an alarm sounded. A real emergency this time. A cargo ship had docked with injured crew members. Chemical burns. Radiation exposure. Broken bones. Dr. Thalmex rushed to the medical bay. He found Dr. Hyunwoo already there, preparing equipment. Jiho and Mirai were setting up treatment areas, and beside them stood Velthar, Brix, and Nala. They wore surgical gear and looked determined. We can help, Velthar said. We have been training for this. Dr. Thalmex wanted to say no. They were students. They were not ready, but he looked at their faces and saw confidence. He looked at Dr. Hyunwoo and saw approval. "All right," Dr. Tholmick said. "Show me what human medicine can do." The injured arrived. There were 5 of them, all in bad condition. The medical staff split up. Dr. Hyunwoo took the worst case, a being with severe burns covering half its body. Jiho and Mirai worked together on 2 patients with broken bones, and the alien students took the remaining 2 patients. Velthar worked on a patient with radiation poisoning. He moved quickly, setting up IV lines, administering medicine, monitoring vital signs. His 4 hands made him incredibly efficient. Brix calculated drug dosages with perfect precision. Nala handled the patient with chemical burns, carefully cleaning and treating the damaged tissue. For 3 hours, the medical bay was a storm of activity. Everyone worked without stopping. When Dr. Hyunwoo finished with his patient, he moved to help others. When Jiho and Mirai stabilized their patients, they assisted the students. Finally, it was done. All 5 patients were stable. All 5 would survive. Dr. Tholomex looked around at the exhausted medical team, humans and aliens working together, using techniques from both traditions, combining the speed of human medicine with the precision of galactic technology. "This is the future," he said softly. "This is how medicine should be." Velthar pulled off his surgical gloves. His entire body was shaking with fatigue. But he was smiling. "I understand now. I understand why humans never give up. Because giving up means someone dies, and that is unacceptable." Dr. Hyunwoo nodded. "Now you understand. Welcome to human medicine."